Members, the nominee, together with Secretariat, good morning. Welcome. This is Committee on Administration and Public Service. Today, we are here to conduct an approval hearing fitting of the nominee to Kapsabet Municipality Board. Honorable members, we are holding this sitting pursuant to Section 14(2) of the Urban Areas and Cities Amendment Act 2019. Excellency Governor, Honorable Stephen Sang, in a letter dated 4th April 2024, forwarded to the Nandi County Assembly the names of the nominees for vetting on their suitability to serve in the Kapsabet Municipality Board. Consequently, a newspaper advertisement notice was issued on Thursday, 16 May 2024, inviting the nominees to be vetted for the position they were nominated to. Further, pursuant to Nandi County Assembly Standing Order number 4613, the Honorable Speaker committed the nominees to the Committee on Administration and Public Service for vetting and consideration. Before we can proceed, may I ask the legal officer to administer the oath to the nominee.
Welcome, nominee. You can be upstanding. Kindly be upstanding. Okay. With me is an oath form, but first, kindly inform the committee on the faith you subscribe to, whether you are a Christian, Muslim, or none.
I'm a Christian.
Being a Christian, I have a Bible with me. You'll hold it in your right hand and kindly proceed to swear yourself.
Okay. I, Job Kipkurgat Ngetich, having been invited for approval, hearing, and present documents before this Administration and Public Service Committee, do solemnly swear, affirm that whatever I will say and or present before the Honorable Committee shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, in line with the Constitution of Kenya and all other laws of the land, that I will, to the best of my ability, aid it to find the truth without fear, favor, bias, affection, and prejudice. So help me God.
Thank you, nominee. You can give me the Bible. May you proceed to put in your name and append your signature. Okay, thank you, nominee. You can have your seat and all the best.
Thank you so much. Let us proceed and let us introduce ourselves. I begin. I am Honorable Emmanuel Jemalan, Chair to this committee.
Good afternoon, nominee. My name is Honorable Silas Kogo, MCS Angalo Keblonik Ward in Masop Sub-County, and also member to this committee. Thank you.
Good afternoon, Dr. Honorable Itzak Musbei, MCA Kaptumo Kaboyi Ward and member of this committee.
Okay, thank you. Welcome, Dr. I'm Sarah Mutual, MCA Koserai Ward, and also member of this committee.
Thank you. I'm Honorable Matata Benjamin, MCA Kapsabet Ward, and a member of this committee.
Thank you so much, honorable members. Let me keep Secretariat to introduce themselves.
My name is Bill Hajib Keme, Secretariat.
I'm Isabella Mayo, Deputy Clerk, Legislative and Procedural Services.
Thank you so much. Let us proceed. Nominee, we are going to give you 60 minutes. And you will be expected to answer questions through the chair. And the questioning will be largely bordered on your suitability to occupy the office of a member of Kapsabet Municipality Board. Members of the committee will therefore ask you questions about your suitability to occupy the said office. And before then, I will give you 7 minutes to tell us a summary of the story of your life. That is who you are, your academic journey, career, and your experience. Welcome.
Thank you, honorable members. My name is Dr. Job Kipkurkat Ngetich. Okay. Yes, that's my name, Dr. Job Kipkurkat Ngetich. My home is Toulon, Kapsabet sub-location, Toulon location, in Kilibwani Ward. I went to school, Toulon Primary School, in the 70s. Then I went to Moisirkoi High School in the 80s, from 1 to 4. Then I came to Kapsabet Boys High School, that is at the A levels, before I proceeded to University of Nairobi, where I did a Bachelor of Arts in Geography, and then I also enrolled for a Master's in Urban and Regional Planning, in Town Planning, Master's in Urban and Regional Planning, which is known in the industry as Town Planning. And then I was employed in the Ministry of Lands as a physical planning officer too. And then I was promoted to physical planning principal, chief physical planner, and the principal physical planner. And then I worked in various stations in Kenya. That is in terms of the profession. I worked in Elgeyo Marakwet, my first posting as a physical planner, where I did a lot of work. Then from there, I went to Baringo as a physical planner, but I was based in Ravin, Koibatek. It was still a district, not yet counties. Then I went to Uasin Gishu as a district physical planner of Uasin Gishu. Then I was promoted to become a provincial physical planner during the previous administration before devolution. Then I served in Western Province. I was based in Kakamega, but I was in charge of Bungoma, Busia, Vihiga, and Kakamega with offices, where we did a lot of work and I gained a lot of experience. Then devolution came. I was appointed by His Excellency Oparanya as the chief officer, as acting chief officer for the Ministry of Lands, Physical Planning, Urban Areas, and Housing. It had a long name. And we were able to do so much work for planning of Kakamega. When you go to Kakamega town, the kind of infrastructure that were there now, ranging from the street lights, the beautification within Kakamega at night, it looks like Dubai. So that is the experience that we did in that area. Then I transferred my services after serving as a chief of staff, not for a year. Then I went to University of Eldoret as under secondment. The Public Service Commission seconded me to go to university, to go and teach planning in the university, where I teach planning students who are employed as town planners. Then after 3 years, I told the Public Service Commission I got interested, I should remain in the university, not to go back to the ministry. So that was in 2017, and I stayed there for up to now. Then also in 2019, under Urban Areas and Cities Act, His Excellency Mandago, the former governor, appointed me to be in the board of municipality, whose term is expiring next month. Yes, so I've served in the municipality. Most of the infrastructure that you see in Eldoret came as a result of KUSP projects. The projects are many, and therefore I would like to bring that kind of experience back home. I want to give back. I'm coming back home to also champion. They call that place the City of Champions, and I know here is the source of champion. So I would like to come back home and champion issues of planning. I'm aware of the history of Kapsabet. The first town to be established in Kenya is Kapsabet. It was established in 1890. That is, it was born even earlier than Nairobi, because it's 1906. Yeah, and the reason being for establishment of Kapsabet town was because of Nandi Rebellion. So the colonial government stationed the administration to deal with the Nandi resistance. So that's how Kapsabet town came into being. Then other than that, I've also worked with the communities. Yes, in Kilibwani area. I'm the chairman of board of management of Kilibwani Boys. And when I went to the school, I found the students were 400. And then after some time, the numbers have increased to around 800. And we want to make sure that we increase the numbers to even 2,000 by the end of my term. Then I think that is what I can say about myself. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Let us proceed. And do you have the following clearance required by the Chapter 6 of the Constitution? Tax compliance certificate.
Yes, sir.
Clearance from certificate of help.
Yes, sir.
Self-declaration form.
Yes.
Certificate of good conduct.
Yes.
Clearance from recognized credit.
Yeah.
Kindly can you submit,
Okay.
including your ID,
ID.
together with academic documents.
ID is here. This is ID.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Let us proceed.
Yeah.
At a personal level, what is your net worth?
Yeah, about 20 million. 20 million. That is in terms of the property. I live in my parents' home. My house is in my parents' home. I have a urban home in Wasin Gishu, in Eldoret, and a farm in Ziwa, and a plot in Keses, and also a plot in Toulon Market. Some few cows in my father's home, that's around 10. Usually don't count. Yeah, you usually say your things are sere. So yeah, there's always yeah. So and then what I have in an account is 200,000 in about 200,000 in a bank. Yeah, basically that's what I can say. I own also a car, a Toyota KCG 286H, and it is one. Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
I now proceed to welcome honorable members to ask a question. Let me begin with Honorable Kogo.
Thank you, through the chair, to nominee. My question is, what are some of the functions of a municipality board?
Okay, the board is constituted under Article 184 of the Constitution, which of course produce two legislations, Urban Areas and Cities Act 2011 with amendments, and then the main function of the board is to oversee the affairs of the municipality, of the board, to look at the planning, to develop the planning, development plan for the town, and also to ensure that the city is clean. Of course, this is specified in the charter of the, yeah. So to ensure that the zoning is done, that there are good buildings coming up in the city, that there is proper zoning guidelines on the buildings that are very good, very nice, which should not be, which should be attractive and should not be, falling down, or, to ensure that there is proper development control is one of the key areas. Then I've talked about waste management, to ensure that the city is clean. That will entail collection of solid wastes, solid and liquid wastes, ensure that the city is well served, is clean, and that also the board is to look at the staff. I mean, the manager is there, and below on top of the manager is the board. So it's supposed to, the manager is answerable to the board. And in terms of policy formulation, that is what the board will formulate, the policies in different aspects. And then the board is also mandated, to prepare the accounts, the funding, the financial statements, that is for the monies that are allocated to the municipality, to ensure that they are audited, they are properly used. Then the other aspect is to ensure that the plans are properly implemented. Implementation is very important. And also, the board is accountable to the county assembly. The county assembly role is oversight. So the board is supposed to prepare reports to the assembly to ensure that the citizens are given services, and there is value for money, the resources that are allocated. So the board is supposed to look into issues of that. I've talked about the development planning, and of course, ensuring that the city is clean, the service delivery, and there is also evaluation of the services, the extent to which services are provided. There is monitoring and evaluation. That is the work of the board. Yeah.
Through the chair, again, our nominee, How has your extensive experience at the Ministry of Lands and Housing and your role as acting chief officer in the Department of Lands in Kakamega County prepared you for the role of on the Kapsabet Municipality Board?
Okay. In terms of experience, in the Ministry of Lands, I was involved in the preparation of plans and policies. So the skills that I'll bring in are technical skills to the municipality. Technical in the sense that I can draw the master plan because I'm equipped in terms of the skills of planning. I'm digital as well. When I went to school long time, we were using the pens to draw and also the T-square, the drawing pens. But currently, we are using softwares that are relevant, that are the 21st century softwares, like the GIS, for example. Yes, produce a map within a very short time. That is a skill that I can develop, that I can use, I can apply. And then also technical administration, because you know how to prepare even financial statement. In the ministry, we used to do budgeting, and there are various types of budgeting. There is program-based budgeting and zero-based budgeting. Program-based budgeting, so I can know that if we put the money in this particular project, this number of people will benefit. This number of communities will get the services. If you use, I can do budgeting, so that's a skill and experience that I can bring. I can also carry out evaluation, monitoring and evaluation. Even the administration, I can work with the municipality people and stakeholders in Kapsabet to transform the city, to make Kapsabet to be like Dubai, a modern city. Yeah, I can have those skills. As a chief officer, I have the experience of also county management, of running of the county, yes, because I used to sit in various committees. We used to sit with MCAs. We used to work on CIDP. The first CIDP was prepared for Kakamega when I was the chief officer. Then something else I should tell you is that when I was after the CIDP, we prepared the CIDP with programs of 140 billion, the activities for the 5-year. And CIDP is usually prepared, no money will be committed unless the CIDP has been approved by the county assembly. So the first document after election is the CIDP. So which means, no, even if the money has been allocated by the CRA, that money cannot be used unless the CIDP has been prepared, indicating the activities and programs. So that from that understanding, I think I can be able to do that. Subsequent to that, there is also IDEP in the city. And IDEP is Integrated Development Plan. Yes. Then I should also say, in my experience in Kakamega, we also got involved in slum upgrading. I know Kapsabet has no slums, maybe. I was involved in slum upgrading. And I took Kakamega to Nairobi, and we took the first position and a certificate of the best, county was given to me, and I handed over to His Excellency the Governor. And that was on housing, slum upgrading. And then we represented Kenya in Colombia, in a city called Medellin. I didn't go there, but the CEC and the representatives of that assembly went together with that, together to make a presentation, an exhibition in Colombia. So looking at that, I think from that skill, I will also do the same. Kapsabet will be an international city. We can also take our programs and activities to the higher level, to the international level, based on that. And given that Eldoret will soon be a city, then I think Kapsabet now should fill up the position of Eldoret. So as Eldoret is promoted to a city, then Kapsabet should be a key town in the region to take over from Eldoret. Thank you, Chair.
Maybe my next question through the chair. What are some of the investments opportunities that are yet to be exploited in this municipality? If given this chance, what are you going to do? And maybe on a follow-up question on that, you've talked that you made Kakamega the way it is right now.
Yeah.
Kindly elaborate, how are you going to make this Kapsabet just look like the Dubai you've quoted? Thank you.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Chair. A number of things will be done to make Kapsabet a city of 21st century, or what we call a creative city. Then I would say, first of all, the opportunities available in Kapsabet are many. Number one, I know the sewerage system is available in Kapsabet, a very important infrastructure facility. The only small town that has a sewerage in Kenya is Kapsabet. Away from the normal towns like Eldoret, Nakuru, Nairobi, Mombasa. So the next town with that infrastructure is sewage. And it is a very important, sewerage is very expensive in terms of, to be developed in any city. You need a donor, yeah. So one opportunity is that one. So investors can come in and connect to the sewerage and water. Water is available in the, I said I was in Kapsabet Boys, below there's a water supply, yeah, yes. Then Kapsabet is also an area of a rich agricultural area of tea, yes. So those are the areas we can look at. It is in a highway on your way to Kisumu, Kakamega I mentioned. Something else that will develop, or in relation to question number 2, is tourism. It's an aspect of tourism in Kapsabet. You know what we will do? There is Kakamega Forest. I was in Kakamega for many years. And we need to partner with the Kakamega County and also the communities around there. The forest is a resource. When you are in Kakamega, you see many tourists come from Germany, they come from Europe to come and see the Kakamega forest, which is called the only remaining rainforest, tropical rainforest in Africa, in the region. So that can be used as an opportunity. We can tap tourist activities from Kakamega side, besides now tourism in Aldai and these other regions, our forests and the parks, the Kingwal, so that we can be able to.
You, I would look at you and say, you know it, you know everything, and how will you bring on board your colleagues on the board, kindly?
Okay, thank you, Chair. I think I must say that I'll work with everybody. My experience which is spanning of 30 years, I came because I worked with many people. I work with different stakeholders. From the former councillors, we work together. We work together with all stakeholders. Planning is planning with the people. You plan with the people. That is now a profession. The planning is with the people, not for the people. That means you plan with the people. In the board, because I have the experience, I will be able to listen to people. We work together. We do stakeholder analysis, visioning together with people. I think education generally is supposed to make us humble people, to make us simple people, aware that we are in a developing society where we have challenges of resources and, you know, and the population, of course. So we prioritize as which one comes first and all that. They usually say, if you want to go far, you go with the people. I mean, if you want to go some distance, if you go alone, you'll not go very far. But if you move with people, the leaders, move with the stakeholders, all the stakeholders, then we will be able to go far. The other aspect I should have added into the first point was we do the proposals to attract funding. Currently we have issues of climate action, funding from outside. So we should be able to write proposals away from the normal allocation from the CRA. So we can be able to write proposals overnight. We breakfast meetings with my colleagues in the board, with even people from outside. We develop proposals, and then we can attract funding to finance projects like water, sanitation, even housing, yes, even, yeah, all the projects that are required, even climate change activities. The current thinking is that we need to plan our cities with climate change in mind. So I want to assure the members that I am a very inclusive person, inclusivity. I'm aware the towns are supposed to be inclusive. You cater for the people living with the disabilities, plan for them, plan for women, children, the elderly, all the people, we plan for them, and everybody in the society. That is now the image of the 21st century city, where everybody is on board. Yeah, thank you, Chair.
Through the chair, one other question is that we already have an approved IDEP plan already in place, and perhaps listening to you, because you are not the one who prepared it, your preceding board did it. If if you think it can be improved, what steps are available for you to, as a board now, to do an improvement?
Thank you, Chair. We will look at the IDEP, carry out evaluation or SWOT analysis. We'll look at the strengths, opportunities, threats, and SWOT analysis generally. We identify the key issue. The reason as to why many towns are not growing is because we have not identified the niche, the niche or the DNA. What is the DNA of that particular town? What is the strength of the town? What are the key areas? We invest resources in one key area.
So just to interrupt you,
Yeah.
now, assuming that you look at the IDEP and it is not properly done, that actually, my concern was perhaps you might that is not going to help the growth or the flourishing of Kapsabet.
Yes. So we do a review. There's a stage called plan review. You look at what was done vis-a-vis whether they got it right or not. So we review. And that is a quick scan. You look at it, quick scan, then you also collect data to validate the proposals. See, for example, to what extent what was the methodology correct? The methodology gives rise to what will happen with the impact. So we review. And the plans are, I'm not saying that plan is not working, I've not seen it, but once we look at it, the plans are reviewed from time to time. It is not cast in stone, plans are reviewed, even every year. The current thinking is that you use a model, you use what you call Luisa model to feed. I don't know, we'll take Kapsabet to that direction. You use a Luisa model where you key in the main variables of a city. This will include, for example, transport systems, counting the vehicles and where people are going, where people stay, how many houses, and including what is called gender disaggregation. How many women, how many children, like that. How many supermarkets? How many supermarkets are there? How many businesses? How many, so you capture the information. How many street lights? So you capture all that. What is the financial modeling, the revenues? So you capture that. Then we run the model. The model will tell you Kapsabet requires this number of supermarkets in the next 10 years or 5 years or 2 years, or there is a shortfall. So we fix that. Yeah. So we take Kapsabet to that level where you can have a model which is GIS based, called the city engines. Then we can be able to know the variables so that as the town grows, you know very well that it is moving in the right direction. So the model will tell you this service is required, it should be expanded, these are the resources that are required. You see, the allocation that will be required will be this. And the cities are supposed to be having the resources. You go to mention, like in Brazil, a city has more money than the national collection taxes. Find cities like Rutiba, they collect a lot of money. So they don't get allocations because they get more resources. They get trillions. Whatever the government is collecting, one city is collecting. So okay. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. Finally, Chair.
Yeah.
Remember that besides the donations that you get from World Bank and other partnerships that you might develop, we, the Assembly, allocate you a budget, or rather allocate you the resources. In that case then, since we represent the people, how will you ensure that we are in constant, in a continuous, in touch, so to say? How will you ensure that we are in touch? We as a committee know what you are doing. I'm telling you this because the outgoing board, they couldn't face the challenges. The challenges were too much and kind of they gave up. How will you navigate? Bearing in mind, this is a political environment also. You've said that you plan with the people. You don't plan for the people, meaning that the conflicts will be minimal. But how about us as leaders? How will you rope in us? Thank you, Chair.
So thank you. What we will do is we will put in place the policies at the municipality level. The policies, like for example, the bylaws, yes, to capture all the aspects. We shall also, I know public participation is there, is one way of ensuring that we work together with the assembly and also the public. Then we shall be the law also provides that we make presentations to the assembly, the relevant committee on the urban areas. So we shall do that, and we will work together with the assembly. If we have to visit, for example, to benchmark or write proposals, we will work together to ensure that we increase the revenue base of the city of Kapsabet, and also utilize the resources that we get, which I think is about 5%. The 5% is supposed to be allocated for urban area. The percentage should be 5 for the urban. The 5% for urban will be utilized properly to ensure that there is an ADP, there is an annual development plan to show that this project will be done, and it should be done within immediately. We identify the quick wins. I know where because planners are also politicians. When you look at politics or planning, I don't want to say a politician, but in planning theory, you know the needs of people, you know the needs of leaders. So you go as per the aspirations and the priorities of the assembly. Before we do anything, there is going to be consultation. Then number 2, there is what is called citizen fora. Citizen fora is where you can say, let us have a meeting with the business community of Kapsabet. We discuss about their vision. And when we talk about that, we will need to have the MCAs, we need to have the directors of departments, we need to have the CECs. If it is business, we can have CEC in charge of business, and then we can be able to prioritize. And this can be done quarterly. Then in the next meeting, we can have landlords, people who want landlords. We meet them. This is a sporting community. We can meet also athletes. We meet like that. So every quarter we keep the city warm so that they are aware of what is happening. Even we should be thinking about Kapsabet Marathon. I know we usually say Nairobi, I don't know, London, and Eldoret. Should be thinking about cultural events. Some cities have even cultural events to make the city warm and to make the place attractive. Yes, thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Let me welcome Honorable Matata.
Thank you, Honorable Chair. My question to Dr. Ngetich is that if you will be considered and approved by this House, what will be your immediate action plan for the municipality? Secondly, you find that, as my colleague has put it, we are in a political setup. And sometimes some decisions will have some political interference. How will you handle this when maybe there is a critical issue that your conscience tells you that it should be approached in a certain way against the political interference? And finally, the issue of the scarcity of resources. I've heard that the Act proposes that 5% be allocated to the municipality. What will be your immediate measure on that? Maybe the current allocation is not meeting that minimum threshold of 5%. What will be your immediate, how will you handle that situation? Thank you.
Thank you, Chair. The quick win will be we call a rehabilitation of the CBD, the town center, especially around the market center. We do a quick, rehabilitation of the CBD to ensure that We have a very good environment, even the walkways, the greening, the street lighting. That is the CBD. We rehabilitate or we kind of activate the CBD within the town to ensure that people do businesses for 24 hours. So that means we need to have the walkways, we need to have the greening, we need to have the streets, streets clearly marked. We engage the business community to ensure that even there is safety in terms of the stairs. The stairs should be meeting the needs of people with disabilities and everybody. So this can be done by even the businessmen. We may not require we may not require the resources from the assembly. So there are things that will engage the businessmen because they are the key stakeholders. 55% to 70% of the wealth of a city comes from businesses. So the first will be, let's have a meeting, let us rehabilitate the city, the town, paintings. I think when we talk about the paintings, it will be themselves. We agree on the kind of color, the color that can be used, the stairs and all that, the drainages. We need to work on the drainages. It's a rainy, Kapsabet is a rainy area and a cold area as well. And then, so we ensure that the business environment is improved, the infrastructure that support businesses. That can be done within the first few months. Then the activities that will be short term and the long term. Yes. So the quick win would be, let us change the city. The experience of Kakamega was that we change the city immediately, the CBD, so you'll find that people will be doing businesses. So they get rich, they get money, and they are able to pay for the licenses. So a border person can operate overnight, and you tell him to pay so much, then the revenue will be captured. The revenue streams will be increased. So that one, yes. Then the other thing we will need to deal with in the long term, even issues of tourism and housing. Kapsabet is losing a lot of money because even the staff working in the county government, they take the money to Eldoret. The people work here and they live in Eldoret. So we are losing. So we need to retain, I'm not saying the staff for here, but generally people can do business here and they live in Eldoret. So they burn the fuel, so what we will do is we create an environment that will attract these people, attract others to come and stay here, and then the city the Kapsabet will have a lot of money to raise, so it can be self-sufficient. Then the other point was the politics of planning. We will work together. We will work together, and we make sure that policies are very clear, are passed. Clear policies. The reason as to why sometimes there are issues is because the policies are not clear or they have not been adopted. So we'll strive as a municipality to ensure that if it is approval of a plan or construction, the policy is very clear at what stage. If the plot has not been developed for a long time, and then the law says that when you are allocated a plot, you should have developed within 6 months, and the plot has not been developed for maybe around 80 years. So we make policies very clear that are also friendly to the people and also the leaders. On the issue of resources, I would go for, the first thing we'll do is partnership. We'll look for partners in those areas. We'll look for partners to give us the infrastructure, even firefighting equipment, In other countries where they don't use, they are using old equipment, they can donate. We partner, twinning up with other cities to ensure that we get the resources. We will also work together with the board to write many proposals. We shall form ad hoc committees. The committees are small, the small committees where we meet, breakfast meeting in the morning. We write a small concept note or 2 pages. We look at it together and we submit. We respond to calls, they call them applications. Then we can be able to get funding. Thank you.
Okay, maybe my final question. Recently, this House approved the Kapsabet Municipality Special Plan, and most of the stakeholders were involved, and we had a team from the State Department of Planning. Did you got an opportunity in the development, or have you had an opportunity to see the Kapsabet Municipality now that you are also a planner? Were you involved in this?
Okay, thank you, Chair, Honorable Member. I came. It's true that I came. I like Kapsabet. I came for a stakeholders meeting. That is, the venue was a place in Namgo area, opposite Kapsabet Boys. And we had interactions with the state officers who had come from Nairobi, at the house, and also people from around. We are able to make suggestions and proposals on how we can improve. I believe those issues were captured. Stakeholders, we had a stakeholders meeting. I gave out my views, and they captured the views, and we agreed that Kapsabet is going to move forward and not backward. We agree that Kapsabet will always continue doing well. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you so much. Our last questions will be asked by Honorable Sarah Rupeti. Welcome, Honorable Member.
Thank you, Chair. So through the Chair, Dr. having served as a physical planner for so long, and you have mentioned 2 big towns, Eldoret and Kakamega, that you have worked in, and your geographical knowledge from your education, university and in your high school. I think you understand very well the topography of Kapsabet Municipality. And another thing also is the Kapsabet, most of the areas captured by the municipality is private land. So will that not hinder the good physical planning that you are dreaming to come up with in Kapsabet? Will it not interfere or given chance?
Yes.
I know you have a good plan for Kapsabet Municipality.
Yes.
And from your talks, you have said that you have a passion to serve your hometown. So understanding the topography of Kapsabet, the land that is covered by Kapsabet Municipality, and also the land which is also private. So my question is that will it not hinder the plans that you want for this town?
Okay, thank you, Chair. I think I should say there is, in issues of topography and the geography, the reason as to why I got interested in planning and to serve for those years and in different stations and towns, when I was a student in Kapsabet, I was doing geography, to tell you this, and I like the question. They gave me a topographical map of Kapsabet in NEC, national examination. The Kapsabet map. I was in Kapsabet Boys, sitting for geography paper, and the national exam was saying the map of the area, the topo map, which was being used during that year, was Kapsabet. So that means people, all Kenyans, those who are candidates, were using Kapsabet map. And I got interested in planning because I knew the topography. I could see this is Kapsabet Boys where I was, during that time. This is the city, this is the town. My home, I could locate even a house, I could locate the rivers, I could locate, you know, I could locate even the rivers around Kilibwane, Kirobi area. Yes, and that really made me interested. Then the question they're asking me many years was factors that led to the growth of Kapsabet. That one I knew very well. So I scored everything generally. But what I want to say in relation to answering the question, the hilly nature of Kapsabet is an opportunity. The terrain, or the topography of Kapsabet is the best in terms of the scenery. It is the best. It gives us a very good plan. In planning, you design the buildings in accordance with the nature, design with nature. So the nature tells you what kind of development should be here, what kind of a building should be here. So you design a building that agrees with the topography of the area. The zoning, the plots, yes, tells you the plots should not be small, it should be bigger. If it is a Kapsabet, should not have small plots. The zoning should have big plots that extends up to the conservation area. The riparian reserve should be protected. Number two, the hilly area also is used to locate water tanks, things like the water tanks, which, you know, can be used to supply water all the way to Kapsasur, to communities living this way. So you locate the tank in the hill, and you can be able to supply water without pumping, so it will be cheaper to really do that. The other challenge is the sewer. The sewer would be, Kapsabet might have two systems. I talked about the sewer. So you can have two systems of the river, of the sewerage. You can have another one this way. Already there's an existing one near the showground. I know that, yes. And we shall have another one. But as we wait to put sewer in the whole area, we use a digester. We advise stakeholders to use digesters, not septics. A digesters is like a septic tank, but it will not pollute the environment. So we can use, we call them green infrastructure. We encourage the communities to use, you know, the infrastructure that will not affect the environment. Yes. Then the other concern was issues of land. Land is also a major challenge because I know the area that was allocated for government land has been utilized for various uses, schools, the plots here in town, and then the showground, the stadium. So what we will do as a board, we shall do land banking. We shall do what we call land banking in the budgeting process. We shall liaise with the county assembly to develop regulations on how we can do the land banking. In Brazil, where somebody talked about, they usually say the reason as to why Europe and nowhere else develop is because they capture the land issues, so that we encourage people to pay. They pay plot rents and so on. When they pay, we give them, you know, services. So we'll do that. Issues of land, we shall acquire land. And the Constitution, it says if you need land, then it can be acquired from neighbors for public purposes. But where we don't need land for public purposes, we encourage the residents themselves to build those houses within their farms. We encourage them to invest housing on their own. If it is a school, they build schools there. But where we need to have, for example, an infrastructure, like expansion of the sewer, then we have to acquire, because that is dictated by the nature of land. Where to put a sewer is dictated by the nature of land. And there is compensation, and for that particular case. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, another question is that for a town to grow or our municipality, let's say Kapsabet to grow now, one factor is that there should be population. So as much as we talk now, there are so many buildings in Kapsabet for business and even for residentials, which are empty. We lack population in Kapsabet. So if given chance, what are your plans that will attract more population, people to come and trade in our town and to live in this town? Because a town cannot grow without population. If you look at Eldred really grew up because of institutions that were put up there, especially the universities and the colleges. It really attracted a bigger number of population. Come back to our town here, Kapsabet. If you look at the institution, it is only the secondary schools and maybe the primary schools. So actually, what are your plans for Kapsabet? To see that we have people, that huge population that will do a lot of business in Kapsabet.
Thank you. Yeah, for a town to be a municipality, well, it's already a municipality. The minimum threshold is 50,000 people. But then that is just on the area of spatial planning. So what we will need to do, we kind of propose incentives. We incentivize people to come. We need to find out why there are those empty rooms or spaces. So the spaces could be fine, it could be, maybe the finances are not available, so we are going to use what we call a multidimensional approach to that. Maybe they don't have things like the capital, look into that. Issues to do with the street lighting, maybe, yes. Then issues to do with, so there are those activities that you can do to help the businessmen. What we call screening of the town or beautification of the town that can attract people to come. And looking at the current generation, the generations that they don't live in the villages like ourselves, long time. I belong to the other generation. But I am sure we create jobs. We create jobs for them to come in. Like, for example, industries, we attract investors through partnership. We can have industries like for agro-processing industries. We make this place an industrial hub. We expand even the KCC. We talk about making of butter, cheese, and those other activities. We can expand. We strengthen the industrial base. Tourism, I mentioned. Tourism is key. We expand tourism and we partner with our neighbors to do issues of tourism. And we market Kapsabet. We do proper marketing. We shall write documents identifying investment opportunities in Kapsabet. We shall develop these documents together with the business people, all the stakeholders in the county. Then we start now marketing, putting the website and all that to attract investors to come here. The reason as to why Kakamega developed, with my experience again, Kakamega was not growing until Masinde Muliro University was set up. It was called Weko. So it was a town of civil servants, a chief, DO, secretary. But when Masinde Muliro came in, then the town started having life. So we are going to also explore. We linked Paraton University is not far. We see what kind of programs we can introduce, because I come from the university as well. There was an attempt to also, when I was in Kakamega, we had wanted to establish a satellite campus here. That was 10 years ago, together with lecturers who are working in Masinde Muliro University. So we had wanted to have programs around Namgoi, because it was closer to Kapsabet boys. So those are the initiatives that we can introduce. Number one, partnership with other universities, partnership in industries, industrialization, institutions, partnership even within the towns, twinning of the towns, so that we can get many people coming. The other thing for us to attract those people is that we need to avail land. Most of the investors would prefer, like the Chinese, that is also an experience I had in Kakamega. So we buy land from the neighbors, land banking, and we give it to investors. When you buy land, you give land free. That is a way. We are going to develop regulations. If somebody asks maybe 100 million, 200 million, avail land and tell them we want this particular industry to be done here. So we can see, and then once the investors come, they create jobs and other opportunities for young people in terms of training. So we can do that. The other opportunities we can also explore is, I remember when we had the Devolution Conference in Eldoret, there were no houses, accommodation to cater for people who had come from all over the world, the Kenya and beyond. So people came to Kapsabet to look for rooms, accommodation, because Eldoret was full. So we liaise with people here to build houses, good hotels, and we make them affordable, cheaper. Instead of paying 5,000 or 6,000 Sirikwa, we tell them there are rooms here, 2,000, 3,000, and there's transport. So we can do a lot of marketing. Likewise to other places where there are functions, we can tell them to come. Yeah, so the question I would answer it in different ways. We need many strategies to attract population and to create jobs. Not one strategy, we need many different strategies to be able to solve unemployment and to expand the city. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, so I know very well that when given chance, the first thing that will come up as a board is the DNA of Kapsabet municipality. And this one will lead you now to the SWOT analysis. You will now come up with the strengths, you will come with the weakness, opportunities, and the threats that are found within the Kapsabet municipality. So in case now, the weaknesses and the threats overpowers the opportunities and the strengths that we have in Kapsabet town, how will you, given that it comes like that, the threats are many, and then also the weaknesses are many, rather than the other side of for the opportunities and the strengths. So as a planner who have worked in the big municipalities, how will you, what advice now will you give to the residents of municipalities so that we overcome these threats and weaknesses? Mm-hmm.
That's a major threat, where people working in the Kapsabet operate, they come and generate money here, then they go and spend in another location. So that one, what we can do, we can, for example, maybe poor housing or good houses are not here. So we now embrace a strategy like affordable housing. We identify land for affordable housing, and we can be able to deal with that particular threat. Yes, so that is external. The other threat can be policies. For example, policies on allocation of resources. Yes, that one, we can deal with it if, for example, we get so much money for the CRA, it's not enough. So that it means we cannot provide all the services. So to deal with that threat, we look for funding from World Bank and other development partners. We look for money for that, like the case of KUSP. For Eldoret municipality, they spend about 1.6 billion on the small projects, in the projects within the city. We can do the same in Kapsabet. We write proposal, and their conditionalities require that you follow the timelines. If they tell us by this time, you need to have completed this. We go as per the requirements of the World Bank. We can be able to deal with those threats. The challenges, or rather the challenges that are internal, that one we can solve together. We will solve, for example, if there is no water, we can do the planning. The water can be a challenge. The issue of the terrain, we can do the planning in the first year. We can serve. Rome was not built in one day. So we usually plan, maybe we target a sewerage system for 200 communities in a certain quarter. Yes, the roads, we can do that. We do it we do phasing, phase by phase. I mean, you can do some certain activities now. You can defer some certain activities to do also the activities that generate money to be able to finance and address the weaknesses of the town. Yes. Okay.
My last question is that, okay, within Kapsabet municipality,
yeah,
the dominant residents of Kapsabet municipality are the Kalenjins, the Nandi. They have their cultures and their customs. This is a tribe which fears death. Now that when you come up with a municipality, so with the plans of the municipality, people should bury their kingsmen in the cemetery. So, but to our people who are resistant to change and their culture, so what advice would you give them so that they will accept the policies of the municipality? But now, when it comes now to that part whereby you have to bury your kingsmen, yeah, and with them they really fear it, putting somebody in the cemetery, and they would want it to bury them in their own land, and the policies here says no. So that is something which is a bit challenging to our community.
Okay, before you answer, your 60 minutes is almost the ending. Kindly be precise.
Thank you, Chair. In relation to burial sites, my experience as a planner, it's not only here that fear the death. See, the moment when you are doing planning, there is public participation. The moment you propose cemeteries, the first thing they will tell you is that you want our people to die. You see? So there are those, it is across the board, yes. But in planning, we provide. When you are doing the planning, you provide the space, not only for the Christian and the Muslim and the Hindu. You provide those services. You make them available in the city, like the Kiplombe in Uasin Gishu. Yes, you make it available so that there are people who might require that service. They fear mortuaries and the cemeteries. Even the areas where they are supposed to be located, the leaders of that area will not accept. That is my experience, my 30-year experience. The moment you say the cemetery will be in a particular area, you find yourself in conflict with the leadership of that area. Yes, and also the sewerage area. The sewerage, those ones refuse disposal. So what we usually do generally, near the forest, the location that has come out which is less contested, is near a forest. Thank you.
Thank you. I would like to recognize the presence of a honorable member. I would like to give him a chance to introduce himself and maybe ask a question.
Thank you, Chair, and sorry for coming late. I had an emergency that I had to attend. But from the look of things, I've been following up. The nominee before us, I can see he has just explained. I'm only worried with one thing, that I really want him to convince me about the time. How much time will you have for this activity? Because you being a very busy person, because I can see you you have done a lot, and you engage yourself. You are a very busy person. How much time will you have if this board considered you to be in this Kapsabet municipality? How much of your time will you be?
Okay. Yeah, I will be available both in terms of for the meetings and the technical issues. I would prefer to have a place where we do a lot of planning, a room where we can design the drawings for different sectors. I said I'm a lecturer in the university, and in the university they encourage that we work with communities, called community service. Besides teaching, we need to apply the knowledge that we are sharing with the students in the field, in the community. That is within the law of the university. And also, I think when you look at Urban Areas and Cities Act, they talk about the meetings. The meetings, which is four meetings per quarter, at least a meeting per quarter. So I'll be available, and I will go beyond that. I'll not follow the time for the meetings, for the 4 meetings, or the subcommittee meetings. I will be available, given that this is home, because I've done it elsewhere. And I can be able to do it. I can do more for our hometown, for the municipality. I will have time. Thank you. Yeah.
Thank you so much. That marks the end of our questions, and I'm going to give you a minute for the last remarks.
Yes. So thank you very much, members. I'm very happy to see you, to meet you, and also the discussions we have had. I want to say that we are going to work together to ensure that there is urban prosperity in Kapsabet, where everybody will get money, everybody will get all the services. And we will be open, we will be interacting together. There will be no silos. The silo way of working, we leave it open. We work together. We are going to have no boundary. We work together day and night. And we look for opportunities for investment and development of Kapsabet. Yeah, thank you.
So thank you so much, nominee, for attending this approval hearing. The committee will retreat to assess your competence, and later they will write a report and submit to this honorable house for further consideration. Thank you. Kindly, clerk, can you hand over the documents? Confirm whether all are available. Thank you. Let me call upon Sachin to usher out our nominee.